Hello, Wootton students. My name is Josh Freedman, and on today's COVID CareVid, I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Buxton, one of our AP and Honors Biology teachers. Mr. Buxton, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Josh?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. So, to start off, what hobbies have kept you busy over quarantine?
Gosh, well, I guess that goes all the way back, really to March. I run most days. I mean, that's kind of been my lifelong hobby. I also like other stuff along those lines, like some hiking with the family, with friends, a little camping, a little biking, like outdoor stuff mostly. But then, I don't know, you see behind me, I have a couple fish tanks. That's kind of a hobby. I like fish. These are African cichlids. I got another tank in the room also. I love listening to music. And then just, hanging out with family, friends, all the kind of normal stuff. A little TV. I don't, not much. I like live sports. So I was glad when sports came back.
That sounds like fun, and I can definitely relate to a lot of those. So, yeah. And are there any fun activities you recommend students do during remote learning?
Um, I mean, whatever hobbies they're into, I'd say it's a great time to get outside with the weather the way it is right now. And I think especially like even within the day, like we have a pretty long lunch break, so students that are able to get outside during that time, just something that's off your screen. I know you guys hear that all the time, and I feel like just hear it so much that maybe you don't really hear it, but there's so much screen time. You guys already had a lot of screen time in your lives, and now you've got school on a screen. So whatever it is that can get you off a screen, I mean, I think listening. I mean, reading's great. I don't know how many kids will do that, but I like reading. I like getting outside, and then listening to things too. Like there's, for example, I like podcasts, and I would say like listen to a podcast that is outside of what you're looking at when you're on a screen, like broaden your horizon. So if when you're on a screen for fun, I don't know, let's say you're into news and you're reading constantly about politics and news, that's awesome. But listen to a podcast about, I don't know, music or something else, that some other hobby of yours. There's pretty much a podcast for every hobby, and some of them are really good. So those are some things I think could be fun for kids.
Now, how, if at all, have science adapted to this new virtual learning?
Well, in all the ways that every class has, but in terms of like making the assignments so they work online, that's been a challenge for all of us. And grading them and giving feedback, that's all. I'd say that's happening in science, but that's happening in all the classes. I guess the science specific thing would be the lab component, and for me and for AP Bio and Honors Bio, the labs are basically virtual. There's some good ones, certainly not the same as hands-on. I'm also going to go into Wootton and do some live labs during live Zoom, because I wouldn't have access to glassware and all kinds of stuff that I couldn't do from home. So I'm going to do some of that too.
And what do you expect of students as they take a science course virtually this year?
I want my students to have their videos on, so we can make it as much like a real classroom as possible. I expect them in breakout rooms to act like they were in a lab group in the classroom, like speaking and communicating and working collaboratively. I've been working with kids on that, with some success and then some challenge, but we're getting there. And then I just want them to communicate. It's hard. I know for me, like when you hit a snag digitally, it's really frustrating because you want an answer right then and you can't get one. It's almost like the difference between speaking to a customer service agent on the phone and like listening to like an automated thing where like none of the options fit what you want. And you get that point, and I would say when the kids hit that point, take a deep breath and communicate with your teachers. Email them, explain the situation calmly. We're all going to work with you. we're aware of the challenges and we're going to work with you, but just let us know and don't panic. Don't stress too much about it. So I guess communication is a big component here.
Nice. And what are some helpful resources students can take advantage of if they need extra help, but feel like they need additional help more than the office hours can provide?
Well, in science, I'm sure it's all classes. There's a company called OpenStax, STAX, OpenStax, I think it's .org, and it's online textbooks, and they're actually really good. They even have an AP Bio version that is a legitimate college level textbook. It's totally free, and you don't even need an account or any kind of login. It's right there. So I think that's a really good one. For AP specifically, the College Board has a really good website with all kinds of practice tests as well. That would be only for AP, but still, that's a really good resource.
And last but not least, you mentioned communicating with your teachers, but is there any additional advice you would like to offer students at this time?
Yeah, I remember in college, freshman year, I found myself pulling all these late nights and waiting till the last minute on things, and it seemed like it was something I wanted to do, but it's stressful. So then sophomore year, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna treat school more like a job. I'm gonna stay on campus. I'm gonna take early classes, and I'm just gonna stay on campus, kind of like till dinner time, and I'm gonna use all the little bits of time in my day, like between classes, lunch, to work on things. So to take advantage of all that kind of time built into the regular sort of waking hours. And then after dinner, I was kind of free to like relax, which I needed. So I guess I'd say take advantage of Wednesdays, take advantage of breaks built into your day and use them productively. And I think you'll be less stressed out than kind of pushing it all off till the evening and trying to get it all done at one time. At least that worked for me.
That's some really great advice. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for your time and for being a part of COVID CareVids.
All right, Josh, it was fun.
Thank you.